Are you a Ravens fan that wants more content? If so, you have found the right place. This is Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. We make daily videos only on your Baltimore Ravens. Do you ever get tired of the talking heads only talking about the Cowboys and the Lakers? And if they do talk about Baltimore, it's usually in a negative light towards Lamar Jackson. Well, I tell you this, you have found the place to be. So if you haven't already, go down and hit that sub button. I'm not going to lie, guys. This is pretty big. Just some good news that keeps on rolling in for your Baltimore Ravens, especially on the injury front. This is the last practice of the week. We'll get the injury report later today, the official one. But as of practice, let's take a look at the did not practice today. Absolutely empty. Not a single person on that list. No Kyle Hamilton on that list, no Kyle Van Noy. Both of them got to practice today. We take a look at the picture of Kyle Hamilton out there. Not only is he there and he's dressed up and he's got his helmet on, but he's running through drills. And you can see maybe a little bit of a brace on that right ankle. Nothing too big, nothing too bulky, nothing to make me worry. And then, of course, Kyle Van Noy out there as well, number 53, running through drills. A couple seconds in the video after this screenshot, punching down that tackling dummy, running through the drills as he does. And this is just fantastic because you look at the fact that it is week 11. I'm not talking week 4, mid-September, late September. I'm not talking week 5 or 6, early or mid-October. I'm talking week 11. And there is not a single Baltimore Raven that didn't practice today. Now, there were a few that are going to be limited, and they're going to show up on the practice report or the injury report still, and it'll say limited next to their name, but 0 DNPs. And it is November, and you're about to play your biggest rival. Absolutely fantastic news for the Baltimore Ravens. So, I got a question for you guys now. Do you expect both the Kyles to play Sunday against Pittsburgh? I showed you both their pictures, Kyle Van Noy and Kyle Hamilton. Neither of them practiced yesterday. They both were practiced today. Do you think they'll play on Sunday? If you think why, yes, give me a why. If you think no, give me an N. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's YouTube video. YouTube is about to throw you an ad break, so to take advantage of that time, scroll down the comment section, find the pinned comment, and give me a Y or an N. And it's absolutely massive getting a guy like Kyle Hamilton back, right? Because not only is he your best player in the secondary, but he is just so useful. He is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. And we looked at this last Friday, and we talked about what the injury might mean. And that at that point, we didn't really know his status. But guys, if you just look at his snap counts through this year, 228 at linebacker, 227 at corner, 88 at safety, and 45 at edge rusher. He lines up all over the freaking field. Do you know how useful it is to have a guy on your defense that can play 4 different positions, that can cover, that can tackle in space, which is hard for a lot of guys in the secondary to do? Absolutely, he's been such a key piece, and that's why it's so big that he's out there practicing today, okay? Because if you look at the way that these secondary pieces are graded by PFF, or that they're ranked by PFF, you notice a couple outliers, and he's one of them. Nate Wiggins, 63 out of 109 for cornerbacks. Not bad. Honestly, for a rookie corner, we maybe expected him to be a little bit better after the preseason, but still, you'll take it. Marlon Humphrey, having a fantastic season, 6th best cornerback, ranked by PFF. Then we got Brandon Stevens. He's in the bottom, what is that, 7, 8? Absolutely unexplainable. Marcus Williams, he's dead last in safety ranks. And then you got our guy Kyle Hamilton right there, 5th out of 87. And so we all know how much this secondary has struggled. Could you imagine facing a team like Pittsburgh that has the playmaking wide receivers that they do in George Pickens and not having one of your best players out there? Like, this is amazing that he was practicing, that he looked like he didn't have that big of an ankle wrap or a boot on or anything specific like that. Because when you look at how good these safeties are at covering, he is, by and large, better than every single one of them on this team. He has a 79 coverage grade. That's 8th best of all safeties in the National Football League. Marcus Williams has a 37.1. That's 92nd. So if we're learning something about Marcus Williams over these last 2 graphics, it's he's the worst graded safety in the National Football League and the worst ranked covering safety in the National Football League. If that doesn't smell cut to you, I don't know what does. And then Eddie Jackson, not that far in front of him, 78 out of 92. So just imagine, Kyle Hamilton wasn't going to trot out there on Sunday, and you had these two guys, and I know you throw in Ardarius Washington in there as well, but man, this is massive. And coming up, I'm going to get into it a little bit more, just a little bit more into the weeds of Thursday's game and what we got coming up on Sunday. But before I do any of that, I got to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video. Making a comeback, just like Kyle Hamilton did, is our friends over at Ollie. Ollie is clean, fresh, nutritious dog food for your best friends. And right now, Ollie is offering a fantastic deal to let your pup taste test a personalized meal plan to get 60% off your first box of meals when you use promo code ChatSports at ollie.com. In 5 flavors that I absolutely love, you don't have to be a vet to know that feeding your dog real whole foods with minimal processing is one of the best choices you can make for their health. With no harmful additives or fillers or preservatives, Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world. Here's how it works. Fill out Ollie's 30-second quiz, and they'll create a customized meal plan. Ollie then crunches the numbers and recommends the right recipes and daily portions for your pup. For any first-timers, Ollie will send out your pup's first box with 2 weeks' worth of meals and a guide of how to gradually switch them over to their new diet. And Ollie offers 3 meal plans to choose from, so you can choose between a full fresh plan, fresh topper plan, or a mixed plan with their freshly baked recipes. And right on the screen right now, you guys are seeing my beautiful dog, Applesauce, and she is, not going to lie, she's my everything. She's my entire world. I don't have any kids, and so she is like my child. And I know that my wife and I, we try to eat healthy ourselves, right? We try to fill our stomachs with only like organic foods and not a lot of bad things, not a lot of junk food. And I don't know why some people don't take the same approach with their dogs, right? If you love them just like you love yourself, and if you love them just like you love your kids, then why not feed them the best, cleanest, and most nutritious dog food out there, which is only found at Ollie. So head to ollie.com, tell them about your dog. Use Chat Sports, and you'll get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Head to ollie.com and enter code ChatSports to get 60% off your first box. They offer a clean bowl guarantee on their first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you can get your money back. Again, that's ollie.com and enter code ChatSports to get 60% off your first box. So again, we take a look at these grades, and they're not great, and it doesn't surprise you that by the time that Kyle Hamilton exited last game, things went a little awry for the Baltimore Ravens. But before we get into any of that, I would love if you guys hit that subscribe button. I said it at the top of the show. You have found a place on YouTube that talks only Baltimore Ravens, not another team out there, right? We only talk Baltimore. So if you're looking for that, you found the place, and I beg you, I plead, to hit that subscribe button because you're not going to find a better place out there. Let's take a look back at the injury from Thursday night against Cincinnati, and you can see just tweak that ankle a little bit. Honestly, Chase made an amazing move right there. Their running back, Chase Brown. And then this is what made my heart drop, is seeing him on the grass, head down. He stayed in that position for a while, and that had me really freaking out because I thought it was a non-contact ACL or Achilles injury, and thank the Lord it wasn't. But then you see what Burrow did in the second half without Kyle Hamilton out there. He went 18 for 28, 262, and 3 touchdowns. And 2 of those were on broken plays to Jamar Chase where he was just running free or was just wide open. And now you're facing a quarterback in Russell Wilson who maybe it's not shown as much in his completion percentage. He's only played in 3 games, but he's having a pretty great season with the Steelers. He hasn't lost a game yet. He's thrown for 737 yards, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. And, you know, I think a lot of people after his 1 or 2 years in Denver kind of started to doubt him. They kind of started to say, you know what, he's washed, but, man, he's been doing great in Pittsburgh. And he's got some guys behind him in that wide receiver room, like a George Pickens, that all they do is make plays. George Pickens had a fantastic touchdown catch. He's one of the better deep ball receivers in the NFL. Mike Williams, they added him at the trade deadline. He scored a touchdown. He's been great. And Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, honestly, they're not bad wide receiver 2s or wide receiver 3s. But what I'm worried about in regards of Kyle Hamilton's possible absence, what we were freaking out about, is their running game. Okay, you look at this running back depth chart and the running back room that they have. Najee Harris, he was a first-round pick for a reason. Now, he might not be doing all the things that he was doing in college with Alabama, But he's been pretty damn good this season. Jaylen Warren's a solid running back too, and Cordell Patterson, maybe he's lost a step or two in the last couple of years, but we all know the abilities that he has. And when you look at what they do on the ground and with how often they go to their ground game, man, they're 4th in the NFL in rush attempts. They're 8th in the NFL in rush yards per game. And they are 2nd in the NFL in run percentage. So what percentage of their offensive plays are run plays? Over half of them, 53.3%. And that's where it would have been a bummer to miss Kyle Hamilton the most. Because if you look at his run grade in PFF, he is at a 90.7. That is the best of every safety in the National Football League. You have the best run defending safety on your team. So yes, this is big. This is great news that he was practicing today, and hopefully, most likely, I expect him to be playing on Sunday. So show him some love for me down in the comment section. Go ahead, spam your 14s. Love the fact that he's out there with no big ankle brace on. He's running through drills, got the helmet on, got the sweatpants on. A little cold in Baltimore. But man, go ahead and show my guys some love down there in the comment section. And this is why it's so big, because you're in the middle of a pretty big race. If you look at the AFC playoff picture, you're right now the number 5 seed. But look who sits at the number 3 seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this game you got coming up, that could flip-flop the two of these, right? You could absolutely take over that spot, because if you win this one against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, then you're in the lead for home field advantage, right? Because you got the win over the Buffalo Bills. And of course, there's still a lot of season to shake out. But guys, that is why this is so absolutely crucial to go out there and win this game. And that's why it's so absolutely crucial that Kyle Hamilton is out there and he's playing. Because if you look at Pittsburgh's remaining schedule, they got a lot of really tough opponents left. You're likely to think they're going to drop a couple of those games. They have to play us twice. They have to play the Bengals twice. They have to play the Eagles and the Chiefs. And if you look at the standings right now, they're in that number 1 spot. But I expect some change. And hopefully, we'll see some change come Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's show, everybody. I'm your host, Joey Peterson. If you are pumped up about the awesome news that the Ravens received today, go ahead and hit that sub button.